Hello, friends. Today, we are not just talking about a machine, we are talking about the very heartbeat of the modern world. Look around you, cars rushing down the highway, giant ships crossing oceans, planes tearing through the sky. Behind all this movement, behind all this speed, there is a single magical moment. The moment when humanity stepped out of the slow age, where we were condemned to wind, water, or the muscle power of horses, and learned to generate its own power. Today, we are examining the story of the internal combustion engine, the true turning point where humanity actually learned to move. So how did this revolution begin? In fact, it was all triggered by a disappointment. The Industrial Revolution was happening in the 18th and 19th centuries, but there was a huge problem: steam engines. Yes, steam was powerful, but it was incredibly clumsy, heavy, and inefficient. To run a steam engine, you needed a massive boiler, tons of coal, and constant water. You could run a train with a steam engine, but you couldn't put it in your pocket, attach it to a bicycle, or fly it into the sky. Energy was stuck in place. The engineer's dream was this: could we burn the fire not under a giant boiler, but right inside the cylinder? Could we make power compact enough to carry with us? This idea seemed like madness at first. In the dusty pages of history, we see a crazy attempt by a Dutch scientist named Christian Huygens in the 17th century. Huygens tried to use gunpowder inside the engine, not gasoline. Imagine, you are exploding a miniature cannon inside the engine to move the piston. As you can imagine, this was neither a safe nor a sustainable method, but a seed was planted: explosive power could turn into motion. The real breaking point happened in 1876 in Germany, in the workshop of a man named Nikolaus Otto. Otto had figured out why previous engines were inefficient. The problem wasn't the explosion, it was the preparation before the explosion. Otto thought of compressing the fuel before burning it. This is one of the biggest aha moments in engineering history. Otto developed the four-stroke cycle principle, which we still use today. This principle turned a chaotic explosion into rhythmic, smooth power. So, how does Otto's magic cycle actually work? Imagine it like a pump in a matchbox. Everything happens in 4 simple steps. In the first step, the piston goes down. The engine draws in a mixture of air and fuel, just like a lung. In the second step, the piston moves up, trapping this mixture in a tiny space, compressing it. This is Otto's genius. The compressed molecules are charged with energy like a tense spring, ready to explode. In the third step, the main event, the spark plug fires. The compressed fuel explodes violently, and this force pushes the piston down. This is the moment that drives the car down the road and pins you to your seat. In the fourth and final step, the piston moves back up and pushes the dirty smoke out through the exhaust. The engine cleans itself and gets ready to take its next breath. Otto had built the engine, but it was still a stationary, heavy machine. The move that truly changed the world came in 1886 from Karl Benz and Gottlieb Daimler. They managed to shrink this engine and mount it on a wheeled chassis. At that moment, the thousand-year reign of horses ended. Distance was no longer an obstacle. People could go wherever they wanted. The consequences of this invention redrew the map of civilization. Cities changed. Thanks to the automobile, the concept of the suburb was born. Agriculture changed. Thanks to tractors, food production exploded. And most importantly, aviation was born. The Wright brothers could fly their plane because the internal combustion engine gave them something the steam engine never could: lightness and high power. If this engine hadn't been invented, we would probably still be crossing oceans on steamships in journeys taking months, and looking at the sky only with admiration. Today, with the rise of electric motors, perhaps we are approaching the end of the internal combustion engine era. But one thing is certain: if we are to write the history of humanity and distinguish between a motionless age and a mobile age, the pen that draws that line is the internal combustion engine. If humanity hadn't found the internal combustion engine, what level of technology do you think we would be at today? Let's discuss this alternate history in the comments.